Well, hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. Yesterday, for those of you who are following, was a little bit of a fun day. Lots of stuff that had to get done, and I even had to travel yesterday. And we know we got the show done late. Actually, was done about 12 something in the morning. I always get these shows out before I go to bed, and my flight had under 20 people on it. So it was a very interesting flight. And when we landed here in Florida, it actually was a very rough landing. The plane actually bumped 3 times. If any of you guys know that are pilots, why that happens, haven't had that happen very much in the past, but lately it's been happening a lot in the last, let's say, 5 or 6 years. All right, guys. So welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I am really thrilled that you're here with me. Whether this is your first time with me or you've been with me many times, thank you. So welcome, your first time, and if you're coming back, welcome back. Thank you so much. If you're thirsty or hungry, feel free to go get yourself a beverage or something to eat, and then you can enjoy the show in comfort. So definitely check that out. Oh, by the way, you guys know this is our second day on the master topic. Let me share with you what the master topic is. I think that's probably important to denote. So we started the master topic, by the way, yesterday, and so the master topic was the unstoppable you, the blueprint for modern growth and resilience. And today's granular topic is supercharged habits for peak performance, and it's series 4, show 48, and it's episode number 2. So a big welcome to you. If you have not checked out believemeachieve.com, what are you waiting for? Check that out as soon as the show is over. I think you'll enjoy it. There's short form content, long form content, articles, reels, and so much more. So definitely check that out. All right, guys. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the show. I know I'm excited to be in the show, so let's go ahead and get right into the show, everyone. So welcome, friends, colleagues, and associates to another empowering episode of the ever popular Inspirations for Your Life show. And in just a few weeks, we will have been on the air for years. Wow, might be time for another birthday party. I'm John C. Morley, a serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and as you already know, a passionate lifelong learner. And it is my privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you here today. My mission, for those of you who don't know me, to help you unlock your greatest self and make every day count with real-world, actionable inspiration. So you're tuning into the daily motivational show that's all about transformation, resilience, and unstoppable growth. Here, I'm helping you light the path so you can thrive no matter, well, what challenges cross your pathway. I want to thank you for allowing me and this growing global community that I have to be a part of your journey. Let's dig in together, not just to survive, but to soar and to thrive. And again, our master topic is Unstoppable You, the blueprint for modern growth and resilience. And today's granular topic is Supercharged Habits for Peak Performance. Season 4, Series 4, episode 48, guys. And show 48 and episode number 2. I'm thrilled to break down the blueprint of habits that don't just promise change. They deliver real, sustainable results for the modern achiever. If you want to perform, lead, and live at your best, these next few minutes may be exactly what you need in your life. Are you ready? All right, let's get right into it. Here are 30 powerful, simple ways to level up your life one habit at a time every day. First one, guys, drink water. As your first move daily, that morning hydration isn't just healthy, it's a game changer. Before coffee, emails, or screens start, your engines with water and fuel it for championship. Plan tomorrow the night before. Successful people don't wake up wondering what's next. They rehearse victory before the day even starts. Do you do that? Use a Pomodoro timer for focus. 25 minutes, One task, zero distractions. When the bell rings, celebrate those wins with short breaks. It works, guys. Replace one processed snack with real food. Tiny swaps and upnourish things, your body and your mind, and that will follow suit. Walk outdoors for at least 10 minutes every day. Nature isn't just scenery, it's a productivity train and creativity kickstarter. So why not start doing that right away? Learn to declutter your workspace. Every Friday, a clear desk equals, well, a clear mind. End the week with order, start the next with energy. Practice daily digital detoxing. Unplug to recharge. Your focus and your creativity will thank you time and time again. Read 10 minutes of growth material every day. Books, articles, or podcasts, either or. Feed your mind with something that stretches you. It's never too late to do that. End your day with gratitude, journaling, and reflect on what went right, and anchor your mind in abundance every night. Swap the scrolling for stretching at night. Instead of endless feeds, wind down with a gentle stretch for your body and your mind. It's never too late to do that, and it's a great way to let your body know you're kind of winding down. Track your habits in the streak you have and the visuality of them. There's nothing like a calendar app or even a sticky note wall to keep your momentum rolling. Prep your clothes in advance, deciding what to wear. Tomorrow equals less stress for some people, more focus for important decisions and matters. Challenge yourself with a new micro habit each month. Small new changes keep your brain and your routine fresh. Batch cook lunches on Sunday. Take one worry off your weekday plate. Literally. Celebrate breaking a bad habit. Progress is progress. Reward yourself for every step forward. That's a very important thing, guys, to learn how to reward yourself. I think a lot of people don't understand that, but I want to tell you that when we start to understand that, our life just sort of changes, okay? Our life changes because we've now given ourselves purpose and we've grounded ourselves in the values, especially the core values for which we are all working toward. The next one is meditate. So meditate before stressful meetings. Go in calm, ready, and unshakable. Swap negative self-talk for affirmations. Pretty easy to do. Be your own biggest fan. Words create worlds. Try no 0 days. Do at least one thing. Small actions every day beat big procrastination every time. Use alarms to anchor good habits. Let your phone remind you when it's time to win on your terms. I think some people have had a bad connotation of alarms because the alarm was always trying to get them to do something that they didn't want to do. Maybe it was school or whatever it was back then. But alarms can actually be a positive thing in your life. And I think we need to understand and we need to realize that. If we realize that, our life can make a major, major change. So definitely check that out, guys. I think you'll be very pleased with it. Keep a list, folks, of the tiny habits to boost your day. When you need a quick pick-me-up, glance at your, habit list and do one of the things. Take the stairs whenever possible. I know I take the stairs all the time. I always love the exercise. Movement is momentum. Sneak in health everywhere. Reflect on habits quarterly. Keep, kill, or upgrade all the time, right? Check in, level up, and let go of what no longer serves you. I mean, I think sometimes we don't want to necessarily let go. But when we let go, we have room for something else in our lives. I think that's a very, very important thing to, to realize is that, and that might sound like something that is crazy, but I'm here to tell you that it's not crazy, folks. It is real momentum at work. Smile at yourself in the mirror. It seems simple, but positivity is contagious. Start with you. Practice saying no with confidence. I've said this before. No is all about boundaries. So learn to build greatness and protect your priorities every day. I think some people feel guilty when they're, when they're trying to build their boundaries. They feel that they're being nasty. You're not being nasty. You're saying no to someone else, but you're saying yes to you, and you're saying yes to your own personal things. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss in life. They miss the fact that, we need to say no to some people. And that allows us to say yes to ourselves. We may not want to, but maybe we do it because of our energy. Maybe we do it because, some people make us feel drained. Whatever the reason is, you don't have to give an excuse. You have a right to say no and a right to say yes to yourselves. Think about the last time maybe you were asked to do something and you said yes, but you said it because, well, you felt guilt creeping in. That is something you need to protect against, so that if you're feeling guilty, that means you're doing more than you really want to do. And I think that's something you have to address immediately, or it will rob you of the chance and the freedom to gain the success that you've always wanted in your life. Initiate group accountability challenges. Level up with others. And I think community will turn the goals into real reality. Again, these are not things you're going to do in 5 minutes. These are, let's say, personal and cultural shifts. And some people are like, oh, I don't like you doing that. It's not about whether they like it or not. It's about what's best for you, right? What's best for you. And by saying what's best for you gives you your energy, gives you your power back, right? I think that's a very important thing to understand. But it does take some time to realize this stuff. It's not a flash in the pan. Stack a habit to your morning coffee or your tea. Pair the familiar with the new habit. Stacking hacks your brain. So when we stack, it's like our body says, oh, wait, I know what you're trying to do. Yeah, I get the mood. I get the mode you're trying to go in. Now I know where you're going. And when you've done that, it primes the pump. What do I mean by that? Well, if you all know what a pump is, a pump pumps different types of liquids. We all know pumps for water and things like that. Let's say you go to pump, let's say a pool pump, and it's the first time it's being turned on. It may not pump because the pump hasn't been primed yet. It doesn't have any water in its immediate area, so it can't draw other water in. And usually a pump, they always recommend, you open it up and you fill it with water and you turn it on. But then what also can happen is, because the pump is usually, most times it's lower than the pool, the water will just start to come back in and just enough, and then it will automatically prime itself. So those are very, very important things. Track mood versus habits for insights. See how routines shape your attitude and your energy. Try a once a week early wake challenge. Beat the sun. Beat yesterday. Discover new possibilities in morning hours. I said this to you guys before. If you feel like your life is flashing past you, here's the fix. The fix is to become grounded, but to become more in the moment, to be more grateful of what it is that you're doing, and to really appreciate the moment. There was a lady the other day, I was with a client, and the lady says she's always in a rush, always in a rush. And I said to her, I said, sometimes you have to slow down and enjoy life in every moment. And she said, yeah, but I don't really think she does. She was always like moving. She moves so fast that I don't think she enjoys the things she moves through, because she moves through them so quickly. And I noticed that. And I've only known her, maybe less than a year, and probably about 3 months. And that's been a challenge. A lot of people, they do this because they think that moving fast is going to make them happy. It's actually going to make them sad, right? That's very important, guys. Swap gossip for encouragement. Feed your environment with positivity. Lift yourself and others. I know you might say, gee, John, gossip is much better. I enjoy it. Well, you might enjoy the short-term feeling of gossip, but you don't enjoy the long-term feeling of it. You don't enjoy how it could make you feel if you were on the other end. Because remember, if you spread gossip, there's a very good chance people are going to start spreading gossip about you. So I would recommend not spreading gossip if you can help that. That is probably the most important thing that I can share with you. And one I think that, again, will make you be a better version of yourself. Share your favorite habit hack publicly. Spread the inspiration, grow the tribe, and lead by example. So, when we talk about our habits, one of my favorite hacks is to write everything down. Not because I have to, but because I want to. And I love the feeling, ladies and gentlemen, of crossing things off the checklist for me. That's a very important feeling I get. Feeling very worthy, right? That happens. And when that happens, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, this is like so amazing. I can't get over how this happens or how this is working. So that's one thing I like to do. I also like to take time to recharge. You might say to me, John, well, I don't want to recharge. Like, I got in from my flight yesterday, actually early this morning, went to breakfast early this morning. And then after that, I decided to come back and just chill on the couch for a little while. And first thing I had to do was I had to get a post finished from yesterday. And then I kind of took a nap, which I thought was going to be an hour. It wound up being 3 hours. Even though I wasn't totally tired, all that rushing around yesterday before leaving, there was so much that was happening. And my body was just so grateful to have that moment, which was to recharge myself. Let me ask you guys a question. How do you recharge your batteries? Do you take a nap? Do you have a refreshment? Do you sing a song? You see, refreshment is changing the course of your life. And by refreshment, we can look at things differently, a different perspective. I think those are very important things to think about. But sometimes when we think about refreshing our lives, people always say, oh, it's got to be about sleep. It doesn't have to be about sleep. It can be about sleep. And one thing I've learned is that when I go to sleep and I plan for this amount of time, but I sleep longer, it's okay. I mean, I had nothing else to do. I knew the show was getting done later in the evening, but I enjoyed those 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 3 hours of sleep. And you might say, John, well, I don't have that kind of time. When you give your body that kind of freedom, your body will actually reward you by giving you back more energy. I mean, we all have times when we have to run the energy dry. I mean, that happens in everybody's life. It shouldn't be happening every day, right? I think that's a very important thing to understand, is that it should not be happening every day. If it is, then you're doing something wrong in your life. I mean, that's the bottom line. You are doing something wrong in your life. And if you're doing something wrong in your life, how do you fix it? How do you get that energy back? How do you get that freedom back? That's a very tricky question, all right? But it's one I think that a lot of people don't realize. And the reason I said they don't realize it is they don't understand, why people are doing this or why we need to give ourselves energy. Well, first of all, it's a health benefit, number one, right? Second thing is when we choose to take a nap or relax, we feel rejuvenated, but also it actually allows our short-term memory to transfer to our long-term memory. And so even though on the plane I had taken a little bit of a siesta there for a good hour and a half or more, I really enjoyed that sleep. So when I got in, I was tired, but I wasn't exhausted. And I think that's an important thing. Sometimes you have to push yourself a little. I know it happens, right? But if you push yourself and you don't give yourself a chance, the best analogy I can give you, we had something called, I think it was the 600-yard dash. You guys might know what that is. So the 600-yard dash is something you run um, in grammar school. And so there was a 600-yard dash, and then I believe there was also, I think there was another one, I think called the 50 or the 150-yard dash, and that was a lot different. You could run and you would be done very quick. The 600-yard dash was a kind of run, if you've never run before, where you feel like you feel your phlegm, you feel blood coming because you're really pressing your organs. It's not something you keep doing. So if your body is meant to run X, right, you have to give your body ample time to be able to catch up. For example, if a motor is meant to run, let's just say 60 revolutions per minute, but you decide to use some engineering to make that motor run 120 revolutions per minute. Well, you're pushing the motor more than it can handle. And even though it might do it, you might burn the motor out because it wasn't designed to do that. Like, are we designed to do 600-yard dashes every day? No. A perfect example, there was this movie. There was a ski movie. And I was watching it on the plane just the other day. And it was all about this one gentleman and another gentleman, and they were friends all through school. And then suddenly, after college, around college time, he just like took off one day. Parents, family, nobody knew where he went. And so this other person wanted to find him. And finally, he was getting the opportunity to get a call to meet him. And their life was all about living in the snow and being like a snow warrior. But the thing about being a snow warrior is a lot of these people were enjoying the experience of having death right at their fingertips. I didn't think that was great. They would ski in a way they would say ripping it. And when I mean ripping it, I love doing intermediate skiing, but they were like doing more than advanced. I mean, they were like, shooting off the cusp and like landing. Sometimes they'd fall. And the thing about that is they pushed themselves a lot. And when they pushed themselves a lot, you know what happened? They would find themselves in the hospital. You might say, gee, well, that's terrible. Well, they look at that at a very good thing, because so when you do break your leg or you break something, ACL or tendons or whatever, you actually wind up healing that better. But I don't think that's any way to live, to intentionally push yourself so hard that if you break, then you repair so it gets better. I think that's a terrible lifestyle. But I've learned that most skiers, I don't know if you know this, most skiers out there, or I should say every skier who goes professional, has basically been in the hospital at least once or twice. So an ambulance in one situation last year, an incoming with a 33-year-old skier who broke his femur after colliding with a tree at Keystone Park. The Doucette had 9 patients in the emergency room, 4 with skiing injuries, and the rest are patients just needing medical attention. So that's a lot, guys. I mean, a lot. Up to 55 injured skiers and snowboarders arrive at Colorado emergency rooms each day. More than 4,100 skiers and snowboarders were transported to emergency rooms in ambulances or helicopters across 2018, 2019, and for the first part of 2020, which is about 10 patients every single day. That's terrible. I think a lot of people feel that they've got to push, they've got to prove something, not so much to other people, but to themselves. And it's a big risk. And I think I like skiing, but what I've done differently, I think the big issue is that a lot of people, they don't know their limits. And if you're just skiing, very easily and not trying to push anything, you're probably okay. But then if conditions are bad, like, it's icy or things like that, you can get injured. So you have to realize that even though the mountain is open, it might not be safe for skiing. And you can't really sue a ski lodge for you getting injured. But I want to say this again. Um, Pretty much every professional has been in the hospital um, with a ski injury. So 3.49 injuries per 100 athletes. The lower extremity is most frequently injured body parts, and contusions is the most common type of injury. Contact trauma is the main cause of injuries. Full recovery time for things like ACL injuries typically take about a year. So you may have to wait until the following ski season to hit the slopes again after the injury. What about cross country skiing? Sure, you can still hit things with that. You can get stuck. Incidents of alpine skiing and snowboarding injuries are also very apparent. Um, so you might ask me, and it's an interesting question, how do you prevent um, skiing injuries? Well, that's $1 billion question. Um, there are strategies you can employ, the appropriate equipment, and choosing ski runs that match your ability. Taking ski lessons is especially important for new skiers. But this doesn't mean that you are going to um, be safe on there. Unfortunately, guys. I mean, I don't mean to put a damper there, but it's very important to understand that you can do things like exercises. But when this movie was happening, the thing is, several times during this movie, they had to back out, and most people would consider that to be a losing streak. But this one person became the skier of the year, even though he didn't make the 27 mountain climbs, all because, well, being the best skier in the world doesn't mean you're the best skier. It means you're the most popular. And he was filming YouTube videos and blogs, blogs all the time, and little mini movies. I think it's important to realize that sometimes we want to achieve that goal, but we have to look at the risks. We have to look at the costs of the recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I hope you will check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. And I'll catch you on another show real soon. Be well, everyone.